Act 38. The Imperial Noble Consort Yuan passed away. Time: the 17th winter of the Red Mansion. Location: Yihong Courtyard, Longsue Temple, Imperial Palace. Character: Jia Baoyu, Shui Baochai, Shiren Lindayu, Zichuan, Grandmother Jia, Wang Shifeng, Jia Yuan Chen, Xing Xiao Yan, Miao Yu, and several others. Character Profile Card. Name: Miao Yu. Gender: female. Alias: outsider, outcast. Identity: lay practitioner with ordained monk qualifications. Personality: withdrawn and out of touch with the times. When everyone was searching for the jade in vain, Lin Zhixiao's wife arrived. With a happy face, he said to everyone, "Ladies, rejoice." Lin Zhixiao went to have his fortune told, and it was said that this jade will not be lost. Someone will return it in the future, one way or another. Seeing that everyone was doubtful, Mrs. Lin quickly explained the specific details of what happened. It turned out that Lin Zhixiao went to see Lu Tizui's word-making, and the word reward was revealed. Lu Tizui immediately asked, "Did you lose something?" As for what was lost, Lu Tai explained that the word reward had a small on top and a mouth below, so the lost item was small and could fit in the mouth, presumably a pearl or gemstone. The shell below the word reward could be opened to reveal C, indicating that it was not seen. When the top was opened, it revealed should, suggesting that it should be looked for in a pawn shop. Adding a person to the word reward makes it repay, meaning as long as you find the pawn shop there will be a person, and with a person you can redeem it, which is repayment, right? Everyone looked at each other in disbelief, and quickly sent someone to the pawn shop outside to look. Their hearts were slightly more at ease, waiting for Xing Xiaoyan to come back and see what Miao Yu had to say. Xiao Yan went to Longsue Temple to see Miao Yu and asked her to help with divination. However, Miao Yu coldly said, "The reason I interact with you is because I feel that you are not someone involved in the power struggle. But now I don't know where you heard the rumor and came to bother me. Besides, I don't even know what divination means." Seeing Miao Yu turning to leave, Xiao Yan hurriedly smiled and explained the importance of this jade piece again. Miao Yu seemed to loosen up a bit, so Xiao Yan quickly got up and bowed a few times to show sincerity. Miao Yu sighed and said, "Why bother working so hard for others? Since I came to the capital, nobody knows about it. Today I broke the rule for you, but in the future, there may be others who will pester me again." Xu Yan busily said, "I also cannot bear it. I know you have a merciful heart. If someone asks you in the future, whether you are willing or not is up to you, and who dares to force you?" Miao Yu finally let go. He lit the incense first, and then took out the sand tray and stand, wrote the charm, and asked Xiao Yan to bow and pray. Before long, Miao Yu had written on the sand tray, "Alas, come without a trace, go without a trace, leaning on an ancient pine tree below the Qingding Peak. Want to follow 1,000 mountains ahead, come to my door, and meet a smile." Xiao Yan quickly took pen and paper and copied down the sentence. After Xiao Yan returned, everyone hurriedly went up to ask, "How did it go?" Xiao Yan then showed the copied note to Li Wan and the others. After everyone deciphered it for a long time, they believed that the meaning should be, "What you are looking for may not be found for a while, but what is lost may never be lost. Who knows when it will come out?" However, they didn't understand the mention of Qingding Peak in it, and they were also unsure whose door was being referred to in the phrase, "Come into my door." The next day, Lady Wang sent someone to the pawn shop early in the morning to inquire, while Sister Foam continued to search secretly. But after several days, still there was no clue. Shirin and others were even more anxious every day, and Bao Yu didn't go to school for several days, always looking blank and silent, which really worried people. One day, Jia Zheng hurriedly walked into Lady Wang's room, with tears streaming down his face, and said, "Go quickly and report to the old lady. Hurry to the palace. The noble consort suddenly fell ill." The eunuch sent a message saying that the imperial physician has already reported to the emperor that it is incurable. "You and the old lady hurry to the palace. There is no need to bring many people." Madame Wang, upon hearing this, tears streamed down her face. It was really one disaster after another. Suddenly, she thought, could the noble consort's sudden illness be related to the missing jade? Jia Zheng saw Lady Wang crying in a daze. He quickly said, "Don't cry. Hurry and go invite the old lady. Be tactful in your words. Don't scare the elderly lady." Lady Wang hastily wiped her tears, went to find Grandmother Jia, only told her that Yuan Chun was sick and needed to pay respects, and didn't dare to say anything else. Since becoming a noble concubine in the Fengzhou Palace, Yuan Chun has gradually gained weight and has become increasingly weak in movement, often suffering from phlegm disorders. A few days ago, she caught a cold, which exacerbated her old illness. However, no one expected her to fall so seriously ill this time. Even after being treated by imperial physicians for several days, there was no improvement. Unable to do anything, the palace attendants had to report to the emperor and make preparations for her funeral in advance. As a result, an edict was issued for Jia Mother and others to enter the palace to visit her. After Grandmother Jia and Lady Wang entered the palace, they saw that Yuan Chun could not speak, with a grieving expression on her face, but not a single tear fell. Grandmother Jia quickly went up and said many comforting words. Before long, Yuan Chun was already distracted, with her face changed. The eunuch asked Grandmother Jia and Lady Wang to wait in the outer palace. Grandmother Jia felt reluctant, but had to abide by the palace rules, and could only forcibly suppress her grief and leave Yuan Chun. In a short while, the eunuch came out and told Granny Jia and Lady Wang, "Lady Jia has passed away." At that time, Yuan Chun was only 43 years old, and Granny Jia and Lady Wang were extremely grief-stricken and left the palace to return home. When the news spread, everyone cried uncontrollably. Early the next day, all those with status in the mansion had to follow the mourning rituals of the noble consort and enter the palace to mourn. Everyone in the mansion, regardless of age or gender, was extremely busy. Only Bao Yu himself had no official position, and Jia Dairu knew that his family was in trouble, but did not care about him. He did not need to go to school to study, so he was very idle. Even Jia Zheng was so busy that he had no time to discipline him. If it were in the past, Bao Yu would have taken advantage of this opportunity to joke around with his sisters, but since losing the spiritual jewel, he has been a bit absent-minded, even speaking in a confused manner. If someone tells him to do something, he will do it, but if no one tells him, he will do nothing. Shirin and other maidservants dare not disturb him, afraid of making him unhappy. Even when it comes to eating, he only eats when the food is brought in front of him, otherwise he will go hungry. Shirin looked at Bao Yu like this, not so much as being stimulated by the news of the concubine Yuan's death, but rather like he was sick. She worried in her heart and quietly went to the Xiaoxiang pavilion, telling Ziwan, "The second master Bao looks really worrying. Please ask Miss Lin to come for him." The Zichuan told Dayu about this, but Dayu thought about Bao Yu's engagement and felt that he must be marrying her. In this case, it would not be very appropriate for her to go see him at this time. Moreover, regarding the matter of Bao Yu losing the jade, Dayu was actually somewhat pleased. Since Bao Yu was able to lose the jade, it meant that all the talk of a golden and jade match made in heaven was just nonsense. But on second thought, the jade that Bao Yu lost was something that he had brought with him from his mother's womb, not just an ordinary object. If the blooming of the begonia flower was a good omen, then how could the jade have been lost? But if the blooming of the flower was not a good sign, then would Bayu also encounter something bad? After much deliberation, Dayu's mood fluctuated between hope and fear. Dayu refused to go and comfort Bayu, so Shirin had to go and find Tanchun again. But Tanchun was thinking about how strange it was for the begonias to bloom and for Bayu to lose his jade. Then Lady Miayu passed away, and there was also news a few days ago that Uncle Wang Zitung, who had just been promoted to the position of Grand Academician in the Imperial Cabinet, had suddenly fallen ill and died halfway back to Beijing. This series of events was truly worrying, so who would have the heart to try to persuade Bayu again? Bao Chai, since she knew that she was engaged to Bayu, stopped mentioning Bayu. After knowing that he lost the magical jade, although she was very surprised and doubtful, she also did not ask too much. There was no other way, so Shirin had to continue coaxing and comforting, serving and consoling with lowered eyes and a submissive attitude. But Baoyu remained completely unresponsive, causing her to secretly shed tears in distress. The 12 Beauties of Jinling in Dream of the Red Chamber. Lin Dayu, Shui Baochai, Jia Yuanchun, Jia Tanchun, Shishongyun, Miaoyu, Jia Yingchun, Jia Shichuan, Wang Shifeng, Jia Qiaojia, Li Wan, Qin Keqing. In the 5th chapter of Dream of the Red Chamber, Jia Huan, the Fairy of the Warning, told Baoyu that the 12 hairpins of Jinling are representative women from Jinling, divided into 3 categories. The first class includes noble daughters and young mistresses, the second class includes young ladies and concubines, and the third class includes maids. These 3 types of women are the most outstanding in their respective social classes. The 12 hairpins of Jinling. In the supplementary volume, only Xiangling is mentioned as pointed out in the original book. In another supplementary volume, it mentions Qingwen and Shirin as pointed out in the original book.